Hey everybody, you're listening to Page Screen and Beyond podcast number 17 for October 26th, 2019. This week in Page we talk about the Avengers getting new looks and X-Men Marauders takes to the high seas. This week in Screen we talk the El Camino and the new Star Wars trailer. And this week in Beyond we talk Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Ring Fit Adventure for the Nintendo Switch. Avengers get new looks in January. Black Widow starts wearing War Machine's armor. Starts calling herself War Widow. So that's cool. And it looks like a bunch of other Avengers are getting some different looks.
That straight up looks like Venom Thor.
Yeah.
Best described as a Thanos-looking She-Hulk.
Yep.
And a Jean Grey-looking Captain Marvel.
Jean Grey-looking Marvel, and also Blade. Along with Ghost Rider.
Who's that on the bottom? Cannonball?
I think that might be Captain America?
Yep, I see the bit of
With
the
the
shield.
shield.
Yep, alright.
But then there's this, so...
Okay, so roster for this Avengers lineup is...
She-Hulk, Blade, Ghost Rider, Odin Thor, it looks like, because he's missing an eye. And then Captain Marvel, War Widow, and Black Panther. Prophecy says that in the comic book... Oh, no, never mind. That's for something else. In a Shi'ar space prison the size of a galaxy, the cosmic war for the Star Brand superweapon comes to its cataclysmic conclusion. That's a lot of... Who is the shocking new wielder of the Star Brand, and will they survive long enough to control the epic planet-melting power at their disposal? Not if Gladiator of the Shi'ar has anything to say about it, but the space-ravaged Avengers will have a thing or two to say about it as well, including Brood Thor, Captain Corsair, the War Widow, and the new-look She-Hulk, and as well as Blade, like you've never seen him before.
It's a dope squad.
That's a good team-up. I like that. I like it. Yeah.
The run-through makes it sound like...
By Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness.
A Space Avengers.
It is a Space Avengers.
Which makes more sense
100%.
for given, like, say, Thor and even Black Panther, Captain America. The one that throws me through a loop is, like, Blade. Like...
Space Blade.
What the fuck is Blade doing on a Space Avenger lineup?
Maybe there's vampires in
Space vampires.
I mean, don't throw anything out the window when it comes to comic books.
Do they still respond to garlic and sunlight?
Do you think there's space garlic, like garlic on another planet, that might, like, work as well? You know what I mean? No, yeah, it should be cool. Art looks pretty dope. And, yeah. All right, so next on page we have Marvel Marauders.
Speaking of jumbled up teams, getting Pyro and Iceman on the same team with Bishop and Emma Frost, and it's like a seafaring venture.
I guess we should probably introduce ourselves. Hey, everybody, this is Page Screen and Beyond, your home of a little bit of news, a little bit of banter, and no, that's what.
No, it's a whole lot of banter and a little bit of perspective.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Or, I mean, Mas o menos.
I'm John Tubbs.
I'm Keegan Lagerwall.
And
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Love you guys.
So,
Nice to see you.
as you've been
metaphorically
kind of listening to, we got X-Men Marauders. It's a new number 1, available now on your local comic book website or store.
Right before we started recording, we were talking about the fact that we're struggling without doing, it's a rapid fire with not enough research. But this
we're just kind of going through this. But
Kate Pride versus Kitty Pride.
Yeah.
It's a young female with a sword that almost, from the image that we see from the cover art, looks like Domino meets Rogue meets Kitty Pride. Like it does. Like I could see this not being Kitty Pride. Kate Pride being a separate character.
No, it's the same.
Kate Pride is
Catherine and Kitty Pride. Yeah. Kate. She might just go by Kate in this comic book. It looks like.
Okay.
Or
But
in
yeah.
this version.
So throw in the and Storm as well. So you have
Storm,
Iceman and Pyro.
Iceman, Pyro,
Bishop, Emma Frost, Storm, and Kitty Pride. That is
that's a pretty good squad, and it looks like
diverse.
they're
for
pirates.
sure.
They're pirates. They are
Yeah,
pirates.
again, seafaring venture, which all of them have. I mean, you could have this be a solo comic run with Storm.
Yeah,
And it would almost get the same point across. But this is going to be a cool, this
kind of a left turn for the X-Men.
If we're equating this to like DC, this seems like Legends of Tomorrow for Marvel.
Okay, yeah.
Like this is the most hodgepodge, like against each other team, I would imagine.
Who do you think is the enemy is going to be in this? Just like other pirates or like other mutant pirate squads or some shit like that? And is this some sort of like time travel thing? Or is this like just kind of them existing in pirate times? I don't know. It kind of looks like they time traveled.
That final sentence of protecting the seas from, or protecting
The sea,
the people, yeah.
seas of the world to protect those hated and feared.
So that to me reads like it's
X-Men, but it takes place on the high seas.
right,
The seven seas.
them defending random mutants. So I could see the pirate scenario being like,
Interesting.
Robin Hood-esque, stealing from the rich to give to the poor,
Mm-hmm.
or defending those that are lost at sea or island bound.
Yeah.
Again,
it's
both of these pages we have really cool teams in a very interesting environment.
Yeah. I like when comic books take left turns and kind of put the people we know into different situations that we're not used to.
Yeah.
Pirates are dope. So for screen, I am just finishing up rewatching Breaking Bad, and before we started Breaking Bad, me and my girlfriend watched El Camino because she really wanted to watch it and didn't want to have to watch all
Go in
of Breaking
memento
Bad.
order, huh?
Yeah, we kind of Tarantino'd it a bit, but my overall thoughts is, I mean, it was clearly done after. It was clearly filmed and like you can tell it's made after they made Breaking Bad. It wasn't like they made them at the same time and then they just released this, later down the line. But having said that, it was extremely well done. As far as like a standalone movie, just sequel to this, and have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I liked that at the beginning they gave you like a rundown, like a bare bones outline recap of what had happened in the series, because that, like,
it wasn't necessarily necessary, but it was nice.
It wasn't necessary, but it was useful in understanding like how this character came to be, instead of like trying to fit in that backstory into the actual movie itself. It still had its, if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, it still had its like sullen silences,
Oh,
which I loved.
this is very much Vince Gilligan project.
Yeah, and it's Gilligan.
Gilligan?
It is like Gilligan's Island. Yeah, not Gillen. Yeah, I've
He
been watching it, and
he
every time
makes
I'm
me
like, "What the
think
fuck,
of
Vince?"
like the equivalent of old school mobster movies, but like for modern day tense scenarios.
Yeah,
I am
Like-
very impressed. And
Yeah.
this, I very much agree and hear you with the. It doesn't look like it was filmed the same week Breaking Bad released.
no, yeah,
but
there are some little tiny differences.
the
that you
double-edged
notice.
sword of that is, yes, it looks like an older Aaron Paul,
Mhm.
but the reverse side of that edge is he is a phenomenal actor and locked in. I mean, he was very like in step with the vision of the project, and like he, stepping back into his old shoes,
Yep.
but a more seasoned actor so that he could, bring more to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice
They
that-
did some flashbacks, which I really liked because they
The
showed
flashbacks were crazy
they were
good.
so good. They were like their own little tiny episodes themselves.
Yeah, they crammed a lot into this movie,
They did, and
and it didn't feel bloated.
it didn't. It didn't go on too long. It was right where it needed to be, and
the
then
pacing was good.
it was so good. And then they got the guy, the welder guy. I forget his name, but when Jesse was chained up in the neo-Nazi place, the welder that like put the place together, like came back, and I just love the way they put that together. It was just-
turning Easter eggs into full-fledged
Yeah.
character beats.
yeah. Because I remember
that standoff is so Breaking Bad that like they had a final act in this
spoiler
movie.
alert. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
so
wow.
if
sure,
you haven't
spoiler
seen
alert
it yet,
a long time ago.
if you haven't seen it yet, definitely give it a look. But there is a standoff that's like it was
That's good.
yeah, I know. It was very Breaking Bad, but it was also like you almost wanted, like, you could feel the tension in the room between the two guys and then between everyone else, and you like almost wanted like a tumbleweed to go by as like some sort of comic relief.
Yeah, just like an old school one.
Yeah, and I love old school like Western movies, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Tombstone, and like all that shit. I grew up watching that stuff, and it evoked those emotions of like, oh shit, what's gonna happen?
Right.
Oh fuck.
But still very modernized.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it.
And I won't spoil what
Lockstep.
happened.
Cool fucking scene, though.
Good, but yeah, that is probably one of my favorite scenes.
And again, going back to the
Probably one of my
Flash-
favorite movies this year, actually. Not gonna lie.
There's
Like besides the Joker, like
The-
the Joker's on its own level.
There's
obviously.
a couple on the checklist that need to be hit because, like, if we're
We
getting
should do a
into that time of year-
rewatching of like movies. Of
Not
the
even
year.
rewatching. Like, you know what we both missed? I guarantee you haven't seen it, but everyone is saying that this is worth talks for end of year, like best of considerations.
Yeah.
Is Shia LaBeouf's Peanut Butter Falcon?
Yes, I do want to see that.
See, again,
Yeah.
I know we haven't seen it, but man,
And it's
like
a
the
play
buzz
on
about
his-
it.
It's play on his own dad too. Like, yeah,
Oh man, that's a tissue movie.
yeah,
That's a you're not walking out of there unscathed.
exactly.
Oh, it's gonna be heart wrenching, but it looks fucking phenomenal. And the Lighthouse.
Oh yeah, that is also coming out real soon.
I think I heard rumblings, and this might be just game of telephone one person says to another person, and tabloids end up making it something it isn't. But I heard through the rumor mill that Robert Pattinson, with his preparation for playing The Dark Knight, was using Willem Dafoe in
did hear
The
the
Lighthouse,
same.
as a reference point for his Batman voice.
Yeah. Which
intriguing.
It's very intriguing.
It makes
Willem
me
Dafoe
both
is
simultaneously more excited for The Lighthouse and more excited for Pattinson.
Yeah. I've been hearing rumor, speaking of Pattinson Batman, I've been hearing rumor that they're considering doing old man Bruce Wayne in this next Batman.
I am
in a Batman Beyond scenario.
I feel like those are two separate projects, if I'm being blunt, because
they say it's live action, so I assume that it's the same project.
Well, no, it sounds to me like they're very strongly pitching Pattinson as being Bruce Wayne. So if we have Bruce Wayne Batman bringing in older Batman, doesn't make a lick of sense.
What if he's not playing Bruce Wayne, but he's trying to make people in the universe think that he's Bruce Wayne?
If they're pulling, you
know what I mean?
The Batman, right?
He's like the new Batman trying to make Gotham think that Bruce Wayne is still Batman.
If they pull the rug out from under us and make Pattinson Terry McGinnis, I think that would be a very bold and brilliant play, and that would be all the excuse you need to get away with getting Michael Keaton in there.
Yeah.
And I would super endorse it, but I do not see that being likely. I think that they're very strongly leaning into...
They've been eyeing Keaton to get back into a Batman movie, and that'd be the way to do it.
Man. But I feel like, though, in the way that Joker is supposed to be an Elseworlds, like, separate pocket movie, I feel like a Batman Beyond with Keaton coming back as old Bruce Wayne. Like, I'd love to have a Bruce Wayne being an older mentor to a young Terry McGinnis Batman. But I do not think that that's currently with the Justice League that they're trying to wrap all of this around and into. I do not see.
I think they're going to go left field for this. They have to. This can't just be like another Batman. They have to pull out all the stops.
Again, I would be stoked about it.
Yeah.
I like that optimism.
Speaking about all the stops, pulling out all the stops, we're gonna watch this Star Wars trailer.
Where do we begin with you?
Just one more time. Okay.
Whew. All right.
This has me intrigued about. I think they're going to try and use 3PO as like a key to destroying it, basically.
A decipher for Sith text.
Yeah. So they have to wipe his memory in order for him to get in, type of shit.
Oh man.
That intrigues me.
John Boyega is getting so good at yelling Ray.
Right.
This one has me a lot more hype, although I cannot run away from laughing at space horses.
Space horses or ice horses, I think.
Well, I mean,
it looks very
Star Wars world horses.
Star Wars horses is always kind of a weird concept.
It's silly to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. It looks great. It looks visually stunning, of course. Seeing the giant, like, the old classic ship busting out of the ice is a good visual. Like, that shit's got me hyped. Yeah. We're definitely going to see some space battles, like some real space battles.
It's so evocative. Seeing just like the... You can't count how many ships, you know, like in a panning shot. Like so many different ships that are going against.
CGI is so good.
Against, like, I imagine, like, a tidal wave in space of Star Destroyers. Yeah. Is like the more every expanding shot, we see more Star Destroyers. And it's like, this is going to be
This is going to be...
Like, you know...
a shit show wrapped in a clusterfuck. And topped off with a little cherry of chaos.
It's gonna be like Braveheart in space.
Braveheart in space.
Like, instead of soldiers on a battlefield, it's gonna be ships in space.
There's your new Tony Award winner.
Man.
Braveheart in space.
Any outlandish predictions after this their quote unquote final trailer?
So in a final shot in the trailer, you see Rey facing off against something.
Oh, I replayed that like 5-6 frames so many times.
Is that a Palpatine in a mech suit?
That's one of my favorite theories that are floating around right now, is how Force ghosts are able to, on the light side, project themselves in a beam of light, just being one with everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of being theorized that Sith are tethering themselves to objects or places, and in Sidious's case, it turns out to be the second Death Star, which we see Kylo and Rey standing off.
Yeah.
Like
we've seen that
in front of the throne of the wreckage of the second Death Star. So if Palpatine is not able to leave the wreckage of the second Death Star, and all of this is taking place on the ocean moon of Endor instead of the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's kind of the grease
theory
that we're using to get the wheels going. But it's Palpatine in a metaphysical, like, imagine this being similar to if you're a Dragon Ball fan, of Metacooler, where even though it's a hive mind of technological physical presence, so you could make as many Palpatine bodies, but it's still going to the way that we saw Yoda
so it's like
spark lightning down on the tree, despite the fact that he doesn't have a physical form affecting the physical world.
Yeah.
Like, the Sith are going to have their get out of jail free card for how they can access the physical world while still being a spirit non-corporeal form.
Yeah.
Love it. So stoked.
How do you kill a ghost is the question of the day.
If Freddy Krueger is to be believed, you stop believing in him.
You just cease believing.
You're not real, Emperor.
Interesting. Yeah.
You only have as much power as we give you.
Yeah, and I've heard theories that Snoke was just a puppet for Palpatine.
Oh, yeah, a little fleshy meat puppet,
yeah. And that's why it was so easy to, like, kill him off, basically. And it just, like, happened. So it's like, was he not important? Which I don't think he was.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to get a spin-off series about Snoke.
That'd be weird. I'd like that kind of.
A lot.
It'll probably be animated.
We'll see.
Anyway, speaking of animations,
oh yeah,
we got some Dragon Ball Z gameplay here.
Kakarot.
It's a new game, just Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Coming out 2020, January.
On all consoles, I believe. Maybe.
Bam, 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 and bam.
PlayStation, Xbox
all of
One,
them.
and PC.
Bam, bam, bam. Oh,
January
I don't
17th.
see Switch on the list, but likely 4 months afterwards.
I assume, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll
At
get
the track record it's been.
It'll get
a couple months later.
Twitch will get it, or Switch. Switch.
I
Twitch.
mean, it'll be on Twitch before Switch, but
very true. Yeah. So yeah, that looks fun. It looks like you're pretty basic, like
but
Dragon Ball RPG,
so clean.
Dragon Ball Z RPG.
Graphics are fantastic.
Graphics are good. They got.
It's a very familiar story.
Yeah, it's what you know from Dragon Ball Z. You've got your support characters that have their specific type of stuff.
You know what my response to you being this meh about it is, and let me give you a perspective that I have as a Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah.
The new Spider-Man game, and I would also say in the same breath the new God of War game.
Sure.
The simple pleasure of swinging through the city as Spider-Man or throwing and retrieving the Leviathan axe.
Yeah.
Just fucking flying around as any of the DBZ characters, because that's what we're talking
Free
about.
roam.
Yeah, with this we're talking about support characters and other playable characters aside from Goku in a game called Kakarot.
Yeah.
So, just like seeing little Gohan flying through the sky in whatever direction you point him nonchalantly, and then going to Kame House and meeting up with Turtle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
to start
an
up a side mission.
open world Dragon Ball Z game.
It's
an RPG. So like you're fighting little
all the feels.
Little RP or what are they called? NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
And just just going around and fighting and kind of like just doing the Dragon Ball Z thing, blowing people up. Kamehamehas.
And with that said, you kind of like nonchalantly toss aside NPCs, but that's kind of the beauty of what this game is from everything I've been seeing about Kakarot, this game constantly has you a leg behind because that's how Goku constantly comes up. He's always like, I mean, even when he becomes all the more powerful, they keep bringing in more villains to make him the underdog. So having NPCs, you don't have to have even footing. Like, you don't have to have fair teams.
Yeah.
When you're going into this, it's like, no, you're facing someone that on paper is way stronger and capable and has better attacks than you, and you just gotta survive your happy ass long enough and chip damage the fuck out of them to be. I mean, this game is going to make me very mad at how much it's going to kick my ass, but it's going to be so much fun for all the little, like, the Dragon Ball moments, because all the side quests in this open world, that's the
all the stuff you know and love,
the meat to the potatoes.
Yeah,
that filler.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'll definitely have to come over and take a crack at it. Yeah. So next up, we got. It looks like Switch is revealing a Ring Fit. It's a device that is a circle with some handles on it that connects to your Switch, and you can bend it, pull it, wave it around, turn it like a wheel. Like, it has all the things that you'd think a wheel-shaped controller should do. And this is really interesting. This it's going back to the Wii U and like doing like the fit challenges and the little yoga pad stand that they had or whatever that you'd balance on. But this turns it up to 11, where you can like use it as a controller and like use it as like an arrow or a bow and arrow type thing, or like crush stuff, and it actually like, it makes me believe, obviously, that Switch is, they realized that with the foot pad or like the balancing pad thing, that was only getting to one part of the body, just the feet and the hips and the back maybe, and like just getting people limber, but their arms were just like, they're doing nothing. So like, they're as much a part of your body as anything else. So it makes me, really have, it makes me appreciate that they're like looking into like real ways of making people use their body to play video games and getting more into that immersive space.
And like you're mentioning with the being able to use as a controller for arrows and stuff like that, it's a good balance between, yes, we're not shying away from the fact that this is a healthier way to play games and it's inspiring, betterment of body.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could still keep that in lockstep with enjoyable gameplay, because the best way to get people to do, any type of self-betterment is make them want to do it, make it fun. Exactly. Yeah. And this looks like it's just cheeky enough to work.
Yeah.
Cute little wheel. Silly, dumb little wheel.
And you strap you strap the other controller to your leg, and you like just play the games. And I hope that Xbox comes out with something like this, because they were trying to do the same thing with the Kinect and having like, motion activated gaming basically. And it's a good idea if you can execute it right. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if you can't execute it the right way, the and people aren't going to play it, and then you just spent, how many millions and billions of dollars developing this technology, and no one's fucking using it.
Right.
But yeah, I think this is a good addition to the Switch, health style gaming.
Do you know a price tag on it?
I don't know a price tag. I can look it up right now. Switch Ring controller.
Because, Betterment is great, but if this is going to be a way overpriced little add-on, it seems very much like, what's the
Ring Fit
RoboLab or whatever?
Ring Fits. On Amazon, it's going for $79.99, and that comes with a game. So, that's actually not a bad price. $10 more than you'd pay for just a regular game. So,
right.
Yeah. I hope they keep that going, because that's a good idea. That is a good idea. That could be useful for like kids developing like arm strength and not just sitting there on a controller, you know what I mean, and just twiddling their thumbs and using their fingers, but they're actually like they're developing shoulder muscles and biceps and triceps, and like they're using it to balance and do yoga poses and shit like that. So I like that. That's an actual like, that is good design, I would say. It is a good, well-designed product, and I would like, that makes me want to get a Switch more, honestly.
Does it?
Yeah.
Nice.
If I were a parent, yeah, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, I still got these up.
Oh yeah, again, even just for self being able to make fitness fun.
Yeah. Just having that like as an option is good, because it gives you more variety rather than just like standing there and doing like balancing or like yoga poses like the Wii U used to be. So yeah.
Needed steps in the progression towards... I can't tell you how bad I eventually just want Omni treadmills.
I think...
being able to run around without going anywhere.
They have them, but they're like $5,000. It's just they need to develop... Well, basically all you need for like something like that is a non-stick surface where you wear socks, and you kind of do what the ideal scenario is, that you have a non-stick surface and you can kind of just like walk on it without any support, like holding you up. There's no like, harness or anything like that. It's just kind of like you're walking on it, and a sensor tracks your motion rather than the pad itself connecting to the device, like a kind of Connect situation where it can track your body motion and then apply that, because that would actually be... There's more that can go wrong with having like a Bluetooth connection, like a device reading your input and then transferring it to the console, than there's less latency when it's just a sensor sensing your body motion. It's just there. It's always powered. It's always good. So that's ideally what you would want, is just like a surface that you can like walk in place and turn and walk in place, and then have the VR headset basically, and then just have like your hands are your controller kind of thing. I know Kinect has been working on sensors that can like detect finger motions, like down to like...
I just want gloves.
Gloves would be
so
cool. Having any kind of like tactic or haptic feedback, basically like a vest that vibrates kind of thing. I know that those exist. The technology is getting better, but like the price is still astronomical for something that's good, obviously. So
playing that long, fun waiting game.
Right. Well, all right. Well, if you like this kind of content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course here on YouTube. click that bell down below to get notifications every time we upload a video, and stay tuned for the next one. If you want to, if you guys want to hear anything, anything at all that you want us to talk about, just comment below, and we will for sure read it. Yeah, my name is John Tubbs.
Keegan Lagerwall.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Been fun, guys.
Thanks for stopping by.
Peace.